Yeah, okay. So we're correcting then the homework. Okay, in my case, for example, it's for me it's difficult. The last one, never lose your temper. Sometimes I lose my temper. It's difficult for me to keep myself, relaxed. And when the conversation is getting, a high level, I start like losing my temper. And especially when you are a teacher, that is pretty bad. I think that when you argue with someone, when you talk with someone, when you uh, discuss with someone, it's pretty bad to lose your temper because your mind is not clear. Whenever you have like when you are angry, all your ideas come to your mind, and you don't have and your mind is not clear to argue, to discuss. So for that reason, I admire women because they are more controlled than men in general. Women usually do not lose their temper. They can talk and they can discuss in a better way than men. All right. Okay. So we're done with this. Okay. So we're going to go now to page number 22. I think that you should do this. Okay. You read it with all the paragraphs that you inserted. Now you know that you are right. So you better read it because it's a very interesting article. Okay. So let's go now into the speaking on the, I think we did this. It says here, work in pairs and discuss which of the statements you agree with. Read those statements on page 22, Melissa. Read number 1.
You should never raise your voice during a discussion.
During?
A
During,
discussion.
not during. During a discussion. Do you agree with that? You should never raise your voice during a discussion. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Do you respect that?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay.
Yes.
What about the rest? Do you respect that, Giselle?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What happens when you raise your voice during a discussion? What happens?
For example, when I discuss with my boyfriend, he didn't like, or he don't like,
he doesn't
that
like.
I raise my voice.
All right, he doesn't like that. Yeah, it's good to respect that. Okay, but when people start raising their voices, everybody start raising their voices, and in the end they start like shouting. Okay, they do not respect. You have to discuss in a good way. Okay, let's see, Macarena. Read number 2 in there.
People who shoot the loudest tend to get heard.
Again, people who shout the loudest tend to get heard. Say it again. Okay. Repeat it.
People who shout the loudest tend to get heard.
The loudest.
The loudest.
Yeah. Tend to get heard. Yeah. That is what we were saying. Okay. People who shout the most, the loudest, then are the ones who are heard. And that is not correct because everybody should raise the voice in a good level so everybody can be heard. Okay. Not who shouted the most. Okay. So that is not very good. Number 3, Melissa, read it.
How you say something is as important as what you say.
Look at how you say something is as important as what you say. Do you agree with that, Melissa?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Why do you agree with that?
Because you can be talking about something, if you're like shouting, people is answer you shouting too.
Yeah. Okay. And I would say in here that they are talking a little bit about respect.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So,
how you say something. If you say it with respect, in a good voice, in a good manner, that is very important. Not only what you are saying, but also the way you say it. Yeah, the way you say it is very important to communicate. Sometimes you have to communicate, bad news or things that are not very good for the rest. And you can say it with respect, and the other person is going to understand. If you don't do it with respect, the other person may get hurt or may get angry, etc. So it's not only important what you're saying, it's also important the way you say it. Yeah, you have to talk with respect. You have to respect the other person. Okay, so that is also very important. Like Mago Valdivia, I would say con respeto. Yeah. he might be saying dirty words, or he might be cursing you, but he said with respect, okay. And the last one, Giselle, number 4. Open your mic. Yeah.
Gossip is never
Gossip.
harmless. Gossip is never harmless.
Do you understand that?
What is gossip?
What is gossip?
What is gossip?
What is gossip? Do you know, Melissa? What a gossip is?
Yes, when you talk about a person or some things that did the person, but you don't know if it is real or not. It is not confirmado.
Confirmed. Yeah, right. That is gossip. When you gossip, you talk about someone else, and you say, this guy is, he's very mean. He's very mean. He is, I don't know, he's envy. But you're not sure. It's probably your idea. So you are gossiping. You're not saying something that is real. Okay, now in here, when you talk in a group of people, normally you start gossiping about other people. Did you know that such and such woman get divorced? I didn't know that. And he's dating another man or whatever. So you're gossiping. You are talking, or you are saying what other people told you before. Okay, so what do you think about that, Giselle? Gossip is never harmless.
It's a real statement.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's a bad thing to have
It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing to gossip.
prejudices.
Yeah, to have prejudices. Yeah, to have prejudices. Yeah.
About someone.
Yeah, right. Okay, gossip is never harmless. It's always harmful. Yeah, because when you gossip, you are saying something that you are not sure about. Okay, and you might hurt someone. Okay, so in order to talk about someone, you have to be sure about what you're saying, right? And nowadays, in conversation, people gossip a lot. And also in the social networks, there are lots of gossiping. Okay, lots of things that are not real and that you believe. Okay, and you just talk about it. You just talk about it, and you make comments. So gossiping is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. No way. All right. Okay. Now we're going to continue with communication collocations. You know what a collocation is, right? You know what a collocation is? Macarena, do you know what a collocation is?
What? I'm sorry.
Do you know what a collocation is?
A conversation?
No.
Or not?
No. Open question for all of you. What is a collocation? Melissa, do you know? Giselle, do you know?
Collocations are words that go together.
All right. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
That is a collocation. There are words that collocates with others. For example, I'm going to give a very poor example in Spanish, but I think it's very clear. When you are angry and you are saying, me agarré a combo y le pegué un combo en, ¿dónde le pegué el combo? ¿Cómo dice uno? Le pegué un combo en, le pegué, ¿qué combo en? Dígalo. En el hocico, dice, ni siquiera en el hocico. Dice,
el hocico.
Los hocico, le pegué un combo en los hocico, no dice le pegué un combo en la boca. ¿Ya? Esa expresión es una collocation, porque la collocation es esa para que tenga el sentido que requiere. ¿Ya? So there are certain words that collocates with others. ¿Ya? They do not have the same meaning if you use another collocation, right? So to collocate is to use one word with another word that normally go together, all right? So in here, we are going to learn some collocations with the verbs make, have, give, and hold. Make, have, give, and hold. Those verbs, we want to use them, to use the collocations that those verbs use with communication words, okay? For example, you have, let's see the words that you have in there. A chat, a conversation, a debate, a discussion, a gossip, a presentation, a speech, a statement, a talk. Okay? Read them, please, Melissa. The first line.
Which
From
one?
left to right. From left to right. A chat. Okay.
Okay.
The first
A
line.
chat, a conversation, a debate.
All right. You can say conversation or a conversation. Right? Okay. The second one, the second line, Macarena. Read it.
A discussion, a gossip,
a discussion.
discussion,
Yeah.
gossip, it's
Gossip.
gossip, and a presentation.
That's right. And Giselle, the last one?
A speech, a statement, a talk.
A speech. Speech. Is a plosive. Speech.
Speech.
Yeah.
A statement, a talk.
Statement.
Statement.
Yeah. And
a talk.
A talk. Correct. You have in there a lot of words related to communications. Now you have to use these verbs. Do you make a chat? Do you have a chat? Do you give a chat? Or do you hold a chat? So you have to collocate those verbs with those words. All right. I'm going to tell you the first one. You have a chat. You don't give a chat. You don't make a chat. You don't hold a chat. You have a chat. Okay, so try to connect or collocate the verbs with the words. Okay, I'll give you some minutes. Just a minute. In some cases, one verb can collocate with more than one word. Okay? The verb can collocate with more than one word. So try to think about the collocation of these words. Okay, let's do it together. So you have a chat. What about conversation? What is the verb that collocates with conversation?
Have.
Have. You have a conversation? Yes. And you make, but you make conversation. If you use make, don't make you say make conversation. Yeah. Usually you make conversation when you start like talking with someone else for the first time. You don't know the other person, so you make conversation. But you have a conversation with someone that you already know. Yeah. Okay. What about a debate?
Hold.
Hold.
Hold. It's a diphthong. Hold. You hold a debate and
Have.
you have a debate. Okay. You hold a debate and you have a debate. What about a discussion, Melissa? What verbs do you think that collocates with the word discussion or a discussion?
Have.
Sorry?
Have.
Have a discussion. Yes. Any other?
Hold.
Hold. You hold a discussion or you have a discussion. Yeah. What about a gossip?
Give.
No.
Make.
No. You have a gossip. Yeah.
Hold.
Have. You have a gossip, right? You have a gossip. What about a presentation?
Give and make.
Give, I would say. Give a presentation. Yes, you give a presentation. More than make. Give a presentation.
Oh, okay.
Then a speech.
Make not.
No, I wouldn't say make a presentation. You give a presentation.
Okay.
You offer it. Yeah. Okay, what about a speech?
Give.
Give a speech, that's right. And there's another one.
Make.
You make a speech, that's right. You give a speech or you make a speech. What about a statement?
Make.
You give a
Make.
statement. Yeah, I think
Give.
that you can also make a statement, but normally you give a statement, okay? But I think that in some cases you can say you make a statement. And finally, a talk.
Have.
Have a talk, yes. And another one?
Make.
Hold.
No, you give a talk.
Give.
You give and you have a talk, all right? You give and you have a talk. Now, the next exercise, it says here, choose the correct alternative in each sentence. Let's do it the first one, and then you will do the other ones. It says, choose the correct alternative in each sentence. Okay? He delivered an interesting, and then you have two possibilities, debate or speech at the conference. He delivered an interesting debate or an interesting speech at the conference.
An interesting speech.
Yeah. He delivered an interesting speech at the conference. That is the correct one. Okay, do the other ones. And then we are going to correct them in here. Think and start like doing the exercise, please. Ready? Ready? Let's do it together. Okay, so as not to take so much time.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Number 2, Macarena. Read it and choose the right talk or conversation. Read it complete with the right word.
Conversation.
So read it complete then.
We had to make polite conversation.
Polite.
Polite conversation with the director of the company.
That's right. We had to make polite conversation with the director of the company. That's right. Giselle, number 3.
Most people hate making a small talk at parties.
All right, good. Most people hate making small talk at parties. That's right. Number 4, Melissa.
The discussion
Yeah.
was led by the CEO.
Yeah, was led by the CEO. CEO. That's right.
CEO.
Macarena, number 5. Macarena? Number 5.
His controversial ideas have stimulated a lot of debate.
Debate, right. The word is stimulated. Stimulated, Macarena. Repeat it, please. His controversial ideas have stimulated a lot of debate. Read it again.
His controversial ideas have stimulated a lot of debate.
Look at me. Stimu, not stimu. Stimulated. Stimulated.
Stimulated.
That's right. A lot of debate. Okay. Giselle.
It was difficult to keep the conversation going because the connection kept breaking up.
Kept breaking up. That's right. Number 7, Melissa.
How to improve the system is a matter for debate.
Right. How to improve the system is a matter for debate. And the last one, Macarena, number 8.
They were deep in conversation and didn't notice the restaurant had closed.
Notice. Oh.
Notice.
Yeah, the restaurant had closed.
Had closed.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you were right. So he delivered, number 1 is he delivered a speech. Number 2, we make polite conversation. Number 3, people hate making small talk. Number 4, the discussion was led by the CEO. Number 5, his controversial ideas have stimulated a lot of debate. Number 6, it was difficult to keep the conversation going. Number 7, how to improve the system is a matter for debate. And number 8, they were deep in conversation and didn't notice the restaurant had closed. All right? Okay, so those are some of the collocations that you have with this type of things. Oh, be careful. Not ojo, be careful. That in here you are working with 4 verbs, okay? Have, hold, give, and make, and the collocations with communication words. In here you have lots of words: chat, conversation, debate, discussion, gossip, presentation, speech, statement, talk. All right? So you have to see the difference between all of them. Do you have any doubts in terms of the vocabulary?
No.
All right. Okay. So now we are going to go into adjectives, ways of speaking. We are going to do something which is really interesting. It's here. Listen and answer the questions, then compare your ideas with a partner. Okay? You are going to listen to 4 people saying the same. They're going to say the same thing. All right? So you have to listen to the people saying the same thing. They talk a little paragraph, but they have different accents and they have different ways of speaking. So you are going to answer those questions. So read, Giselle, question number 1 and number 2.
Number 1, do you agree with the information given? Number 2, what are your impressions of each speaker?
All right. Okay, so you have to focus in here 2 things. Do you agree with information? Okay. And second, what are your impressions of each speaker? Now, read the other 3, Melissa, please.
Which person is the easiest to understand?
Yeah.
Which accent do you prefer? Which person do you think sounds the most trustworthy and
Trustworthy.
trustworthy and authoritative?
Yeah. Authoritative.
Authoritative.
It's a very difficult word. Okay.
Yes.
But you can say authoritative also, because the British say that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So do you understand the word trustworthy and authoritative?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going to listen to 4 people given a short talk. You have to focus on what they are saying. So to see if you agree with them. Second, what is your impression according to what you hear? Which is easiest to understand? What accent do you like the most for all the people that are talking? And what of the 4 people that are going to say the same thing is considered by you the most trustworthy and the most authoritative, right? Okay, so we're going to share. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Wait, because I have to give you the audio. Share computer sound. Now, let's start again. Okay?
Unit 2, Vocabulary Focus, Activity 4. 1.
Research has shown that it's possible to identify a lot of information, such as people's socioeconomic status and their emotional state, from their voice alone. It's also claimed that someone's age, height, and weight can also be estimated just by listening to the way they speak.
2.
Research has shown that it's possible to identify a lot of information, such as people's socio-economic status and their emotional state, from their voice alone. It's also claimed that someone's age, height and weight can also be estimated, just by listening to the way they speak.
3.
Research has shown that it's possible to identify a lot of information, such as people's socio-economic status and their emotional state, from their voice alone. It's also claimed that someone's age, height and weight can also be estimated just by listening to the way they speak.
4.
Research has shown that it's possible to identify a lot of information, such as people's socio-economic status and their emotional state, from their voice alone. It's also claimed that someone's age, height and weight can also be estimated just by listening to the way they speak.
Okay. Could you understand? Yeah, what did you understand, Giselle?
Mm,
Terms, not very specific, in general terms.
they said that people is
People are.
easy to know
Are.
are easy to know. Only in terms of some characteristics of her behavior or aspect, like tone of their voice,
Okay.
the
Melissa?
way.
Melissa, do you agree with what Giselle said?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't pay too much attention because I was concentrating in responding the answers. The questions. But I heard something like that people was saying that it is easy to judge a person for the accent that they have.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to listen to the first person only. Yeah.
Okay.
And pay attention to what she's saying. All right. Listen.
Unit 2. Vocabulary Focus. Activity 4. 1.
Research has shown that it's possible to identify a lot of information, such as people's socioeconomic status and their emotional state, from their voice alone. It's also claimed that someone's age, height, and weight can also be estimated just by listening to the way they speak.
2.
All right. Okay. What is she saying? That you can know or know the social status of a person, where they come from,
Economic.
their economic status, only by listening to them. But also not only that, but also the height, the weight, and I think the height and weight, you can also
and the age.
understand it with the age, right? Or the age by listening to a person. Okay, so the first thing, do you agree with that or not?
Yes.
In all aspects?
Maybe yes. If I heard that a child speaking, I know that it's a child. And if I heard someone that is like really,
I hear, or if I listen to a child, I know that it is a child. Okay, what else?
Yeah. If I listen to a person that have a lot of money, that I know that they have a special way to talk.
Yeah. Do you agree, Giselle?
I partially agree because, for example, in that country, some people speak like rich people, or I don't know.
Poor people, flighty people.
But the reality is not this.
Yeah. Well, I also agree partially. I think that, yeah, you can know the status of a person sometimes for the way they speak, or you can know where they come from, or you can know the age, or you can know what else, their mood, a lot of information. But one thing I don't agree with is that the height or the weight. How can you know the height or the weight of a person for their voice? I think that that's not possible. Okay, you can notice the social status, status, the mood, the age, the origin, etc. But not the age. Not the, sorry, not the height or the weight. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119 I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that, yeah, partially I agree with it, okay? And I think that you also agree with it, yeah? But do you agree with the fact that you can notice the weight or the height of the person? Melissa?
No.
Yeah, it's too much, right? It's too much.
Yes.
Now, you listen to 4 people. We're not going to answer all the questions, but what was the easiest to understand? The first, the second, the third, or the fourth?
The first one.
First one? Do you agree, Giselle?
No.
Which-
Second and the fourth.
Second? Are you sure the second? Look at the second. We are here at the second.
No. Third. Third.
Okay.
Second.
This thing, I mean, yeah, it stopped working. Always it got stuck in there. Right? Well, the second one was he has a very strong accent. Okay. The second one.
He was like a cowboy.
Yeah. I think he's from the south of the United States. Okay. And the last girl, I think she also has a strange accent. She was not very. The first one was the most, the easiest to understand. She was clearer to talk, and she didn't have any strange accent. And the third one, I think he didn't give any
Emotion.
I would say that the voice, the tone of his voice was too flat.
Intonation.
Right? Yeah, in the intonation, and also the pitch was, I mean, that is difficult to understand when you talk like without emotions, right? Okay, now let's go into the adjectives that we have in exercise 5. It says here, work in pairs, look at the adjectives in the box and answer the questions. First of all, we're going to read the adjectives, okay? Let's start by Giselle. Read the first line.
I'm sorry, what number?
Number 5, exercise
Number
5. Yeah.
Okay. Deep, flat, harsh, high-pitched.
High-pitched. Okay, Melissa, second.
Husky, lively, mellow,
Mellow,
monotonous.
monotonous. Giselle?
Nasal, soft, soothing, squeaky.
Quickly. And the last 2, please, Melissa.
Warm, wobbly.
Wobbly. Yeah.
Wobbly.
Do you understand all those adjectives?
No, I don't know what mellow means.
Yeah. Mellow, for example, people can have a very mellow voice. Okay. Who can, well, I don't know. I don't know your singers, the ones that you know. Did you see the movie Grease?
Yes.
Okay, Grease. Did you see it? The movie? Yeah.
About dance?
Yeah, about dancing. Okay. Olivia Newton-John has a mellow voice. Her voice is very mellow, right? Okay, that is mellow. Yeah. What other word you don't know?
Husky. Husky.
Yeah, husky is like this, very, very hoarse. Yeah, hoarse. You talk like this. I don't have a husky voice, personally, right? I'm not a baritone. I'm just my tone is pretty high, right? So husky voice is kind of low, right? Okay, any other?
Wobbly.
Wobbly. is like a nervous voice, unsteady, not firm, okay? When you are ready to cry, for example, or when you are nervous, you have a wobbly voice, right? Any other?
Soothing.
Soothing is very similar to mellow, right? It's like soft also. Soothing, sorry, pronunciation is soothing, soothing, mellow, soft are kind of the same idea, right? Do you know squeaky?
Squeaky.
No.
Squeaky is kind of a howling, you know, like quick. Yeah, it's a very high pitch and not very nice. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is which of the adjectives are positive and which are negative. Let's do it together. Deep, positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. A deep voice is usually positive. What about flat?
Negative.
Negative. No intonation.
Mm.
Harsh.
Negative.
Negative. Harsh is like aggressive, not gentle, unpleasant. Okay. High pitched.
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. Husky.
Husky. Ya lo olvidé.
Husky is like a deep voice, like yeah.
Positive.
Positive, yeah. Okay. Lively.
Positive.
Positive. Mellow.
Positive.
Positive. Monotonous.
Negative.
Negative. For a teacher, a monotonous voice is very negative, all right? Nasal.
Negative.
Negative.
Soft.
Positive.
Positive. Soothing.
Positive.
Positive. Squeaky.
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. Warm.
Positive.
Positive. Wobbly.
Negative.
Negative. That's right. Okay. Good. Which of the adjectives have a similar meaning?
Squeaky and wobbly.
Squeaky and wobbly. I would say squeaky with high pitch better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mellow and soothing.
Yeah. Mellow, soothing, and soft.
Soothing.
And soft.
Mellow, soothing, and soft are kind of similar, right? Flat and monotonous. Right?
Deep and husky.
Deep
and husky. Yeah, could be. Okay. Which voice is attractive in a man?
Deep.
Deep and husky.
Yeah, deep and husky, right? What about a woman?
A soft voice.
Soft voice, mellow voice.
Mellow.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Which do you think match the voices in, no, I wouldn't say so. It's too difficult, okay, to remember the voices of the speakers, okay? The first speaker, which was trustworthy, I think that woman has a lively voice and soft. Soft, I would say better. The second guy, I think that he has what kind of voice does he have?
A squeaky?
Squeaky, a little bit squeaky, that's right. And about the third guy?
Harsh?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Flat
and monotonous. Monotonous, flat and monotonous, yeah. And what about the fourth woman?
I don't
Mellow?
remember.
Which one?
Mellow.
Mellow,
warm?
yes, mellow. I would say I agree with you, mellow voice. All right. Now, we have some discussion here. How important do you think someone's voice is? Do you think it is possible to fall in love with someone from the sound of their voice? And which celebrities do you agree with? Do you agree have attractive voices? You have 3 questions in there. How important do you think someone's voice is? Do you think that it's important or not?
I think it is important.
Why?
Because once I met a handsome boy,
right?
But but he speaks so
past tense. He spoke
squeaky, or
he spoke with a squeaky voice. So you leave him aside, right? Okay, Melissa, do you agree? Do you think that someone's voice is important?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
Really?
Really?
What about your boyfriends? Have you always had boyfriends with a nice voice?
I've never had a boyfriend.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you have to have one and pay attention to the voice. And now, the other question is, do you think it is possible to fall in love with someone from the sound of their voice? What do you pay attention when you know someone, or when you or when you feel attracted by someone?
The personality.
Personality. Do you think that voice is part of the personality of a person?
Could be.
Could be. See, it could be.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, do you believe that someone can fall in love with someone who, because of the sound of their voice?
It is possible.
I think it is possible because, for example, when we are fan of some singer, is because of her or his voice.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. And do you know any is this one? Do you know any celebrity that you like his or her voice, or that you hate his or her voice?
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra. Yeah. Okay. But here in Chile, I've always heard that, for example, some people think that Diana Boloco has a very unpleasant voice. Yeah, it's like a squeaky sound. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Don Francisco also, he has a very high-pitched tone. But the rest, I think nobody else has a...
Patricia Maldonado.
Yeah, Patricia, do you like her voice or not? No?
No.
Well, she used to be a singer, and she sang pretty well. I think that her voice was husky. It's like a...
Yes.
Yeah, but probably when she talks, it's not the same that when she sings. Maybe it's different. Okay. Now, exercise 7, complete the sentences with words from activity 5. So in here you have, she speaks in such a mellow and manner that it makes me feel drowsy. What is the other adjective that is missing in there? Mellow and
Soothing.
Soothing. That's right. She speaks in such a mellow and soothing manner that it makes me feel drowsy. Number 2 says, most people find a tone the most annoying because it sounds like the person is complaining all the time.
Harsh.
Harsh. Most people find a harsh tone the most annoying because, yeah, could be. But I think that in here,
high pitch.
Harsh is more like a terrifying voice, you know. You get scared with a harsh face. Could be nasal. Some people think that nasal tone is the most annoying. Okay. Okay, so you complete that part, okay, at home as homework. Okay. And in here you have which of the adjectives in activity 5 can be used to describe color, for example. What adjectives from the ones you have in there you would use in order to describe a color? A color can be
monotonous.
A color. No, I wouldn't say a color can be monotonous.
Lively.
Soft.
Lively. Soft.
Lively or soft.
Yeah. Warm.
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 Deep. Okay. Yeah. What about a landscape?
Monotonous.
Monotonous, yeah.
Deep? No, I don't know.
It could be flat. It could be soft.
Flat.
Soft. What about a person?
Deep.
Warm.
Yeah, deep. Warm, yes. Lively.
Monotonous.
Lively.
Husky.
No, husky is for the voice only.
Oh, okay.
Okay. An actor's performance. An actor's performance could be flat, with no emotions. Could be monotonous. Yeah. And it could be lively, on the other hand.
Lively.
Yeah. Okay. And to finish, we're going to start working with page number 23 with defining and non-defining relative clauses. Defining and non-defining relative clauses. Have you heard about defining and non-defining relative clauses?
Maybe yes, but I don't
You don't remember.
I agree.
For example, a clause or a defining relative clause could be, I don't know, my brother who lives in Santiago is here at this moment. Yeah. My brother is here at the moment. My brother who lives in Santiago is here at the moment. Yeah. It's a defining or non-defining relative clause. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you something. Wait a minute. No, that's not the one that I want. Wait a minute. Yeah. Can you see?
No.
No? Okay. Wait. Yeah. Wait a minute. Now, can you see now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Here we have number 15. It says relative clauses and pronouns. Yeah. Let's see if it is what I want. Yeah. It says here, relative pronouns and adverbs. It says we use the relative pronoun who, which, whom, whose, that, and relative adverbs, when, where, and why, to give information about the subject or object of a sentence. Okay? The defining relative clauses. Giselle, read that, please.
What? Point 1 or point 2?
Number 1.
Okay. We use the relative pronouns or not?
No. Number 1.
Yeah. Defining relative clauses. Clauses. Number 1. The relative clause defines or identifies the person. Identifies the person, thing, time, place, or reason. Chris, is the man who I met on the train. That's the park where we used to play football.
Yeah, okay, so the relative clause defines or identifies the person. For example, Chris is the man who I met on the train. Yeah, the thing, the time, or in here, the place. That's the park where we used to play football. What park? Where we used to play football. So in here, I am using a defining relative clause because it's defining what you have in here. Okay? Okay? Now, number 2, read it, please, Melissa.
That can be used instead of who or which. The person who that told me asked me to keep it a secret.
Okay, so you know that who you use it for person and which you use it for things, right? But that can be used for both things or people. All right. Number 3, please, Melissa now. Continue, Melissa.
The relative pronoun can be left out if it is the object of the verb in the relative clause.
Yeah,
Oh.
read it.
Yeah, the book which that you lent me is really good.
Okay, what did you lend me? The book. So the book is the direct object of the verb, lend, right? So when you have the object here, you can omit the relative pronoun and you can say the book you lend me. Okay, instead of saying the book that you lend me, the book which you lend me is really good. If you use it, it's okay, but you can also leave it aside. Okay. Okay. And number 4, Sel.
No commas are used before and after the relative clause.
Yeah. In the case of the defining relative clause, you don't use commas. Yeah, you don't use commas. Okay. Now, non-defining relative clauses. Melissa, read that, please.
Okay. The relative clause give extra information which can be omitted.
Omitted. All right. Number 2, you said?
That cannot be used instead of who or which.
Yeah. Melissa?
Commas are used before and after the relative clause. The shop where I work as a student is closing down. The bank manager, whose wife is a teacher at my school, is very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So in here, first of all, when you have a non-defining relative clause, the relative clause gives extra information. It's not totally necessary, that information, but it's extra information. Okay. So for that reason, it goes between commas because you can take it out and the sentence is not going to change totally. For example, you can say in the examples in there, the shop is closing down. That is the important information. Yeah. But you are also giving some extra information about the shop. The shop where I work as a student is closing down. What is the important thing here? That the shop is closing down. Yeah. For example, Cinsano closed down. The bar Cinsano in Valparaiso. Yeah. The bar Cinsano closed down. The bar Cinsano where I worked as a student is closing down or closed down, right? So you can take that part out and the sentence is going to have meaning anyway. Okay, and the other one, the bank manager is very helpful. That is a sentence, but you are given extra information. The bank manager, comma, whose wife is a teacher at my school, comma, is very helpful. So these non-defining relative clauses are very, very useful when you are writing something in an essay or in any type of document that you are writing. Whenever you are giving more information than necessary, or you're given extra information, you put it between commas, and in that way, you are complementing what you're saying. All right? Now, watch out. Leaving out the commas in a non-defining relative clause can change the meaning of a sentence, right? For example, the doctor who treated me when I had a flu is retiring. The doctor who treated me when I had a flu is retiring. The other doctors are not retiring. Yeah. When you don't use the comma, that means that the other doctors are not retiring. Only the one that treated you. Okay? In here, you are giving information with the commas, you are giving information about your doctor. Yeah. And in here, without the commas, you are giving information of all the doctors at the same time. The doctor who treated me when I had flu is retiring. That means that the other doctors are not retiring. Okay? Okay. Okay. Read this, Giselle.
Okay. Prepositions in relative clauses. Prepositions can come before or after the relative pronoun, depending on whether the sentence is formal or informal. The person to whom I spoke told me the
vacuum cleaner
would be delivered this morning. Mr. Evans.
Mrs.
Evans, who I talked to just now, sends her regards.
Yeah. So, who, yeah, is informal. To whom is more formal. And in the case of translation, in this case, which is interesting to know anyway, to whom is normally a quién. The person to whom I spoke told me, la persona a la que yo le hablé, told me that the vacuum cleaner will be delivered this morning. But who is it? Mrs. Evans, who I talked to just now, sends her regards. A la que hablé. Okay, so this is kind of the relative clauses and relative pronouns. Okay, I'm going to upload some more materials with the materials of grammar in Murphy. Here I have something. These are extra information clauses, that is to say, non-defining. Okay. There are two types of relative clauses. In these examples, the relative clauses are underlined and compare. Type 1, the woman who lives next door to me is a doctor. Grace works for a company that makes furniture. We stayed at the hotel that you recommended. In these examples, the relative clauses tell you which person or thing, or what kind of person or thing the speaker means. The woman who lives next door to me tells us which woman. A company that makes furniture tells us what kind of company. The hotel that you recommended tells us which hotel. In this case, we do not use commas. Yeah, we know a lot of people who live in London. Yeah, type 2. My brother Ben, who lives in Hong Kong, is an architect. Anna told me about her new job, which she is enjoying a lot. We stayed at the Park Hotel, which a friend of ours recommended. In these examples, the relative clauses do not tell you which person or thing the speaker means. We already know which thing or person is meant. My brother Ben, Anna's new job, and the Park Hotel. The relative clauses in these sentences give us extra information about the person or thing. We use commas with these clauses. My brother Ben, comma, who lives in Hong Kong, is an architect. Okay, so that is what you have to differentiate. The defining relative clauses that gives you information of the person, the thing, or the place, and non-defining who gives extra information about a person, a thing, or a place, or a moment, etc. Yeah, that is the difference. It's here, in both types of relative clause, we use who for people and which for things. But, yeah, when you have a non-defining relative clause, you cannot use that. Right? Look at the examples. Type 1, defining. You can use that. Do you know anyone who or that speaks French and Italian? Grace works for a company which or that makes furniture. You can leave out who, which, that when it is the object. Yeah, we stayed at the hotel. You recommend it. This morning I met somebody I hadn't seen for ages. We do not often use whom in this type of clause. But type 2, non-defining. You cannot use that. John, who, in that case, comma, who speaks French and Italian, works as tour guide. Not that speaks. Anna told me about her new job, which she's enjoying a lot. You cannot leave out who or which. We stayed at the Park Hotel, which a friend of ours recommended. If you take out which, read the sentence without which, Giselle.
We stayed at the Park Hotel. A friend of ours recommended.
See that the meaning is not the same. I mean, there is something missing in there. Read the other one, Melissa, without who.
This morning I met Chris. I hadn't seen for ages.
See? There is no connection in that case, right? Because you're given extra information and you have to have the relative pronoun, okay? Okay, so I'm going to upload this for you with some exercise. You have relative clauses 4 with extra information, 5 extra information number 2, and 6. No, it says only 5, 4 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to try to upload some materials for you to practice. Okay. We're going to read this and we finish.
Okay.
Oh, take a look at the reading in here on page 23, please. 23. Okay. It says, is your voice holding you back? Holding you back. What is the meaning of hold back here?
Your background.
I would say that hold back, holding back the years. Have you listened to that song from Simply Red? Holding back the years. To hold back is like refrain you, not giving you freedom. You don't feel free. Yeah. Is your voice like not leaving you free to act? Okay. So start reading, please, Melissa. Like it or not.
Like it or not, people are judged not by what they know or do, and not by the content of their speech, but simply by the way they sound. A university.
Wait. Very important. The beginning of the reading. Like it or not, people are judged not by what they know or do, and not by the content of their speech, but simply by the way they sound. Look at that. Continue reading.
A University of California study found that when it comes to first impressions, it was visual impact. First, who was the most important consideration, followed by vocal impact.
Okay.
On the telephone.
Wait in there, Melissa.
Okay.
University of California study, University of California study found that when it comes to first impressions, it was visual impact. Which or who was the most important? Yeah, which was the most, it was visual impact, which was the most important consideration, followed by vocal impact. So first consideration was the image. Second, voice, right? Okay. On the telephone, whose or where appearance is irrelevant?
Where
appearance is irrelevant, the sound of your voice accounts for a full 83% of how others judge you. That is to say, if you have a bad voice and you're talking on the phone, or you have I don't know, a not very, how can I say it, educated voice, and you sound like a flighty, right? You sound like a not a very well-educated person, the other person is going to judge you for that. Yeah. Okay, so it's that amount is the importance of your voice. Okay, now homework, you are going to complete and choose the right relative pronoun. Okay, so you have who, which, where, whose, whom, etc. So decide, and you, as homework, apart from the other one, you're going to read and complete this, and that's it.
Okay.
This is for next class. This is going to be on Thursday.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now, question: is it possible for all of you? I don't know about the rest, but what about moving the period, the second period for the first period on Thursday, so as not to finish so late?
Late.
Do you have problems, Giselle, to start at 6:30 and not at 8? No problem. What about you, Melissa?
No problem at all.
No problem. Okay, try to ask the other people, and they should. Mira, I don't know. Francisca, Ricardo, Camila, I think it is the other girl.
Yes.
And now the other girl who was today, because the other ones are not coming. So maybe we could move to 6:30 instead of 8 o'clock. Yeah. So you tell me tomorrow, try to contact the other people. And if you have an answer, we move the period for 6:30 instead of 8 o'clock, because I think that 8 o'clock is very late, and you have to be up, probably you should be like at 8 o'clock in bed, watching TV and without any problem. Okay, that would be nicer. I would be watching a movie, Netflix. That's the way.
Netflix.
I couldn't pronounce it. In Netflix. I'm watching movies, pretty good movies in Netflix. So it would be better to be finishing earlier than 10 o'clock. I think it's too late. Okay? Or 9:45. I think I can remember what is the time. Okay. So have a conversation with your classmates, and then we could move the period for, instead of 8 o'clock, 6:30. All right?
All right.
Okay, so that would be all for today. See you on Thursday, hopefully at 6:30.
Okay.
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 See you on Thursday.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.